AI to write your emails, summarize long articles, and solve complex problems. It feels like you are working faster and becoming more efficient. But psychologists are warning of a silent epidemic happening in offices and schools across the country. Outsourcing your thinking is actively destroying your cognitive strength. Today, you will discover the hidden psychological traps of AI, how it is secretly killing your problem-solving skills, and the exact steps you must take to stop this cognitive decline. The biggest mistake appears later in the video, and the final insight changes everything. Welcome to Third Eye Awakens, where we build minds that think faster, deeper, and smarter than the crowd. If you enjoy learning powerful ideas that give you an unfair advantage in life, make sure to like this video and follow the channel. We live in an American hustle culture that idolizes speed. The faster you can clear your inbox, the faster you can climb the corporate ladder. In this fast-paced environment, AI feels like a miracle. It is the ultimate shortcut to getting things done. But here is the brutal problem. Human intelligence was not built on shortcuts. It was built on struggle. When you remove the friction of thinking, you don't just save time. You slowly erase your mind's ability to handle complex problems. The conflict we are facing right now is a war between convenience and true mental strength. You are trading your intellectual independence for the illusion of efficiency. If we don't understand the psychology behind how our brains process information, we are going to wake up in 5 years with minds that are entirely dependent on a chat box to tell us what to think. Let's break down exactly how this happens and how you can take the steering wheel of your mind back.
Let's start with a psychological phenomenon that happens every time you type a prompt into an AI. It is called the illusion of mental progress. Imagine you were tasked with writing a complex strategy report for your company. Instead of staring at a blank page, you ask an AI to write it for you. In 3 seconds, a perfect, structured essay appears. When you read it, you feel a surge of accomplishment. You feel productive, but your mind is playing a trick on you. The illusion of mental progress is when your mind tricks you into thinking it has solved a hard problem, but in reality, it is just running on a treadmill. You're sweating, you feel the momentum, but you haven't moved forward a single inch. You get the psychological reward of having thought through a complex problem without ever doing the actual cognitive work. Over time, this addiction to unearned progress makes you allergic to the real, painful effort required to learn.
And that leads us to the second massive loss: depth of processing. True intelligence isn't about having the final answer, it is about the journey your mind takes to get there. Highly perceptive people naturally use depth of processing to break down raw information, turn it over, compare it with past memories, and check it against future risks. When you ask an AI to summarize a 50-page document into 3 bullet points, you are entirely skipping this process. You are feeding your mind the equivalent of fast food. Your memory treats this instant, surface-level summary as low-value data and quickly discards it. You read the summary, you nod your head, but 3 days later, you can't remember a single strategic point. By constantly bypassing depth of processing, you are training your mind to only understand the absolute surface of the world.
Now, think about the great American innovators, people who built industries from the ground up. Didn't do it by getting instant answers. They utilized a psychological principle called active procrastination, or the Incubation Effect. Take Leonardo da Vinci. He spent years painting the Mona Lisa because he allowed his ideas to sit, wait, and incubate. Even when highly intelligent people seem like they are delaying work or doing nothing, their subconscious is actually working overtime, connecting scattered ideas and waiting for the solution to fully cook. AI murders the incubation effect. It demands that you accept the very first microwave dinner answer it generates. When you rely on instant synthesis, you rob yourself of the quiet, frustrating hours where true breakthrough creativity actually happens. You trade the masterpiece for mediocrity, just so you can clock out at 5 p.m.
But the most dangerous trap of AI is what it does to your metacognition. Metacognition is the psychological ability to think about your own thinking. It is the power to monitor your reasoning, question your own logic, and adjust your perspective when you realize you are wrong. Here is the harsh truth. When you constantly ask a machine to evaluate data for you, you hand over your metacognition. You stop questioning. You stop doubting. If you blindly accept the machine's output because it sounds confident, you lose the ability to spot the hidden flaws in the logic. You become a passive consumer of information rather than an active thinker. The most surprising example of this is how quickly people will defend an AI's mistake simply because they have lost the cognitive stamina to double-check the facts themselves. This strips away the ultimate defining trait of a genius-level mind, the need for cognition. Real intelligence isn't measured by a test score, it is measured by a relentless curiosity, the drive to ask the why behind the why. People with a high need for cognition are never satisfied with simple answers. They keep the wonder of a child when facing the vastness of the unknown. When AI gives you a neat, perfectly packaged answer, it closes the door on curiosity. It tells you, here is the truth, no need to look further. If you accept that, your need for cognition fades.
So, how do we fight back? You don't have to delete your AI tools, but you must completely change your relationship with them. You need to establish strict cognitive boundaries. First, never use AI for your first draft of thinking. Force yourself to sit with a blank piece of paper for at least 15 minutes. Let your mind struggle. Let the frustration build. That frustration is the feeling of your cognitive muscles actually working. Second, use AI as a sparring partner, not a savior. Instead of asking it to write a conclusion for you, write your own conclusion and ask the AI to find the flaws in your logic. This forces you to engage your metacognition. You remain the CEO of your own mind, simply using the tool to check your blind spots.
AI is an incredible tool, but it is just that, a tool. It is not a replacement for the human spirit, the human struggle, or the depth of human awareness. True mental strength is the ability to tolerate uncertainty, to sit in the quiet discomfort of a hard problem, and to push through the noise. Don't let the convenience of modern technology steal the brilliant, complex mind you were born with. What is one task you've been relying on AI for that you are going to start doing yourself again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this video helped you reclaim a piece of your mind, hit the like button. And if you want to keep building a mind that sees what others miss, follow the channel. Stay strong, stay sharp, and I'll see you next time.